I do notice that there are 14 total values. 14? Are there 12? Hold on, let me check. 54, 54, 56. Oh no, we go from 166 to 154. That's 12. We subtract 154, but including 54, it's 13. So there are so the range of bar values is 13. The range is 13. It's from 154 to 166, and that is a range of 13. Which means that each letter must own a range of 13. Which means that like A could own the range 0 to 12. Then B could own the range 12 to 25. Which means if B took the lowest value of like maybe a 13, it could then add with... Yeah, it could then add... Okay, so we do have to reduce each of these to a smaller value. Okay. So we only want one of these at a time. I think we need to separate... we need to separate the bars from the letters. And fortunately, I can do that by going... No, more than. We need to check for more than, I think, one... If you assume all letters, 125. More 25 indicates it's a bar. And so we'll throw it away like this. Like that. Otherwise, it's a letter. Yeah. So every letter basically needs to own a certain range of 13, I think. Which means that its lowest value will always be... Well, we knew we can reduce this down to like a 0, B is a 1. Which is always just the ones digit, basically. You just take away the 100. So subtracting 100 gives you the essential base value. Then the minimum of that value is... What, the mod 13? Yeah, if B takes 13 to 25, then B's range... The minimum of B's range will be 13. For C will be 26. For D will be 39. And so the minimum values will always be just there multiplied by 13. Okay. So these are the bars. In here, the numbers must first be subtracted by 100 to give their base value, multiplied by 13 to give their minimum value in their range, and then added to the value down here. But this value is, we also have to take their base value. So we take how much above 154 they are, I think, which means we subtract 154 from here. And then this one can be written down here, and then we just add them together like this. And then whatever, we can throw this away, I guess. We only need one of these values, I think. And we'll see what comes out. This 101 needs to go in front. So 101 goes in front. It will write itself down to here. Because the B is a 1, becomes 13. This gets down here. This writes down here and adds 13 to its value. So this is the lowest of B. B holds everything from 13 to 25. Yeah. D will be a 3, which means it will add a 39 to here. So 156 minus 50 is 2. So 2 plus 39 will be 41, which is within D's range. Yeah, and then G will be 78. Another 78. So you get a bunch of values, like... The maximum, I think, is G, right? Is the maximum always going to be G? I don't know. The maximum might be like something like a Z, if we actually assumed every letter existed. A Z, with a possible for like a very high value, but I think it actually fits the range. So like a 25 here representing Z multiplied by 13 gives you 25 times 13. Add on whatever bar value will always give you some number above 25 times 13, which is in the range of a Z. So now we have a single value that can represent the pair. And I'm pretty sure because we can do this, we can do the opposite. we can flip back and collect the parts that made up this thing, right? Yeah, we should be able to... Can we collect these all into a single loop of 10? Like so. How will it look like? Let's say I wanted these to be together. How long would this have to wait? This might have to wait for quite a bit before entering the loop. Okay. So let's make the loop a little more interesting looking. I want some waiting to occur before being added into the loop of 10. I don't know what the loop should look like. I guess this could be what the loop looks like. I want to add it so that this will wait until this is where the thing comes in first. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. But 6 is too long of a wait though. The things will merge by the time that happens. Yeah. So what if this were further back? So like, let's say it were here. This is kind of awkward. But if it were further back, then each of these paths require a puller. Oh, they merge. Okay, so this has to wait for a bit longer. How about 7? So if this waited for 7, then by the time this came in, they still merge. Oh, because they all have to wait for 7. Oh, that's kind of awkward. Okay. Let's not wait for 7 then. Maybe it's about when this gets pulled out. Maybe if it's pulled out 1 later, that'll be fine. Yeah, this is slightly fast, right? So let's pull these out 1 later. Does that mean that this has to be pulled out 1 later as well? I'm not sure. But we'll see if that works out or not. It looks like it works out. These will still write down to this value. This will still add this value before the next thing comes in. Yeah. So this gives you your 10 values. So we'll get one in the range of 13 to 25, one in the range of 39 to the next multiple of 13 minus 1. 84 to 90 seems to be in the same range, which fits G and G. The second one is smaller in file size than the first, which makes sense because 84 is smaller than 90. And then the last one would just be a very small 8. Oh, which means we only need... No, but each one of these represents a pair, and there are a total of 10 pairs, so there could be up to 10 items here. Okay, good. Now we check for these values, and in actuality, this will, I think, actually sort them all out. It will sort all the A's first, starting with a very small value. Oh, but this is going to be such a slow process. We have to keep counting by 2. We're going to have to search for 0, then 2, then 4, then 6, then 8, then 10. I always have to keep searching the entire list. So we have to like basically... Oh, okay. And because these are all like... To check each of these, we can't use this system anymore, right? We legitimately have to use, I think, this duplicating system. Also, this duplicating system isn't really necessary anymore. Because the things aren't going to come out together. We only need them to do it once. I think basically what that means is that I can do this. Oops. This should be fine. Yeah, this should still work out, I think. So we have all the values here. We basically want to use that duplicating trick to check each of these at the same time as them going over their checkers. And the checker is going to be written on by something like a loop, I guess? Yeah, I think so. Okay. That shouldn't be too challenging, I think. So a loop is going to count every multiple of 2. Wait for 10 cycles as all 10 values get checked. Yeah, it's gonna wait for 10 values as every one of these values get checked. And then it's gonna add 2 again. And then write that down to a checker. Okay. So we have a checker here that is duplicated. And then we have a one-time conveyor that's connected to it. We discovered this was possible in the previous level, which actually is a coincidence we're using it again. But I do like that. We start off at 0. And then I suppose an X port. Or maybe a Y port. Because every time we start a new cycle, right, we're gonna have to start from 0 all over again. So if we start with an export that started at 0, it's gonna have to wait a while everything sets itself up. Which only shouldn't be too hard. If we started everything from a fresh slate, the X should always come out at a certain point in time anyway, right? So we can get the X to come out, we can get the X to wait, and then we can get it to go in a loop after that. Like this. And this one will get thrown out, obviously, because it's only doing the checking. So this is how a duplicating machine actually works. Same thing here, it's gonna keep checking. So it's going to write a value down here. It's gonna start at 0, obviously. It's going to add 2 every single time. It can start by adding 2 first because the 0 is written down there. It just has to wait for a certain amount of time otherwise. I'm gonna say 15 because 15 sounds right. So the first check happens about now. 0 is written here, but 2 is now written here. Actually, this has to wait for a bit longer before everything gets checked. Oh, it's gonna have to wait for very long, actually. While all of these fill up with the first 10 pairs. Huh. Interesting. I don't know when the 10th pair will come out, but it's gonna have to wait for very long while this thing kind of checks itself. So, okay, let's measure how long it takes for 10 items to get here, I guess. So we're gonna start at cycle number 15 when you get here. The next time you get here on the second object is at cycle 25. I mean, it's 10 per cycle you take, yeah. And then when the 10th object comes in and you're here, the 10th object is here, the 9th object will be... No, what? No. This is the 3rd object. This is 45. Yeah. And then bit number 5 is here. We want to start the check. We want to start writing this value in when we have guaranteed all 10 items start here, I think. Really? If this is 60, then at cycle 70 you'll be here with 6 objects. 80 he'll be here with 7 objects. 90 he'll be here with 8 objects. 100 you'll be here with 9 objects. And at 110 you'll be here with all 10 objects in the loop. And then, only then... Or can I do it earlier? Let's just assume only then should you start writing a 0 here. All the zeros already have been pulled out at this point. Maybe that's bad. Maybe I should start with a really random number, like a really high number, just to make sure that nothing gets pulled out first. But we do want the zeros to be pulled out first anyway, like regardless of where they are, the zeros should be pulled out first. So if you'll be here at 110, you come out at 1, you will have to wait for about 109 cycles before coming... Let's do 109. Okay. I'm gonna tap this 109 times. So it's gonna do this over and over. Why? Oh, right, this is the point down. Duh. Okay. Let's do that again. So the red will just go in here and nothing will happen. You'll have all of these values go in, all the checks coming out. So at a certain cycle, yeah, at 10, which means at 0 it'll be here, you'll just get released. You will write down right before this starts checking the first value. In fact, you already write down when they're checking the last value, which maybe I don't actually want. Maybe I want it to be slightly later then. This is a bit safer though. I think this is safer. So this will do this. It will have to wait for about 10 cycles before writing a new value in. So 10 cycles, right? Which means if it takes 1, 2, 3, 4 to get back, should wait for 6 cycles. Ah, jeez, how am I gonna do this? Too bad I can't set the debug. Okay, I set a breakpoint somewhere. Where's the breakpoint button? Here. Pause the simulation right before the start of the next cycle. Oh. Oh. Okay, I don't think this does anything. Dummy. Reduce the count of nullified E bits by 1 with no other effect. Oh, really? That's for nullifying. But I assume the breakpoint is basically it breaks when something touches it. Yeah, okay. Which actually means I can put it here. If I can put it there, that's actually good enough because this will only be touched when everything goes in. So it will start at 2, it will wait for a certain number of cycles, and then when it comes back, it will basically start over again. Wait here, it will do it again. And we basically want to wait until it reaches a value of 8. At a value of 8, it will start writing things down. Oh, this should be writing 1 above it. Oops, my bad. Okay. So at 8, it will write 8 down. Now, things will check for 8, and this 8 will actually get pulled down. Yes! And it will basically repeat for however long it needs to repeat. So, wow, I love this system so much. It actually just gives you the ability to run through loops quickly. So when it tests for... but we're testing for 13. Wait, so this shouldn't be for equals, and it should be... Wait, how in the world? Oh, wait, no. We are not testing for every second, we're testing for every... Oh my gosh, we're testing for every single number. Every single one. Really? Yes. Yes, we're testing for 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 for the A. Oh no, that means we have to start 1 by... Oh my goodness. Wow. And then here it writes an 8 down, and then we are testing for 8. And then we'll test for 13 a bit more after this. Wow, okay, but that works. That pulls out the values correctly. Okay. And then, you know, like really later on. Like you can see we're already hundreds of cycles here. And we're not even close to finishing the first line of code. But we're checking for a value of 41 now. 41 will be written down there. 41 will be pulled out. Then 84, then 90. I'm not gonna keep running this thing over and over again. Yeah, okay. We also need something to stop this from pushing this up further and further up. Although technically it's fine if we do that. The reason why is because at a certain point all of these will be pulled out already. Like, think about it. All these will be pulled out. They will. Because checking these values one by one will definitely go through all possible values. After all possible values are pulled out, any number pressed in here is no longer relevant because this will be empty. Which means in reality, we could just put a conveyor here that activates and pushes this bit out when we need to. And this can be activated by, I don't know, by like the hashtag, I think. The hashtag will activate this. So now we're gonna deal with this guy over here. Okay, we can do that. In reality, because we are gonna go A, then B, then D, then G, then G, we only need to process this value and split it up now. We can obtain its alphabet by finding which set of 13 it is in. And that's equivalent to finding, say, which line it's in. Is it in the first line where it checks for 0 to 12, or the next line where it checks for 13 to 25. And we've done that before, I think, in Matrix Reader, which uses mod 14 to check for the row number. Okay, that was a divide by 14. I meant mod 14 is in this bit over here. Okay, we can do that. So we do that, and then we also have to check for this value, which is actually which object within the set of 13 it is in. So it's also basically counting the column number. We're basically taking a whole matrix of stuff. I'm sorry to like repeat video titles, but we're making another matrix here. Like we are having like A154, A155, A156, A157, A158, A159, A150. Yeah. Oh, wait. Oh, that's why I added +2 here. Because all of these bit numbers will always be an even number. Oh. Ah. That's actually gonna be a lot more efficient, yes. But it's alright, I don't really care. I'm just gonna do this for now. We're just gonna check every number. There'll be some numbers that will never exist here. Like for example, A155, which will generate you a value of 1, will never exist because 155 is not going to be part of a bar value. Not in this puzzle at least. Even though it is a bar value, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Okay, so we're basically checking for row numbers and column numbers. We can actually do that with another duplicator over here. One of them will simply be mod 13. I kind of forget what that gives you. And one of them will divide by 13. I have no idea what that gives you either. We'll check. Okay, let's get rid of this and let's start with a breakpoint first for me to do some checking. So at the value of 8, the 8 will show up as a 0 from 8 from mod 13. Oh, right, mod 13 is its value. Yeah, so it's like 8 after divided by 13, you get a remainder of 8, right? That means it is not in column 0, it is in column 8. Divide by 13 gives you 0, meaning it's in row 0. Yes. So bottom value is the row, is the letter. This is the letter. This is the number. Which means if I add 154 back to the value, would I get the correct number? And then here I need to add 100, right? It's basically doing the opposite of this. Oh, that's really cool. So 8 plus 154 is 162, which is in fact the value here. And then 0 plus 100 gives you 100, which is in fact the value here. So there you go. These are the values already. If I flipped it around, I think I'm gonna get the correct thing first, because I want the letter first, right? So I want the letter to take the shorter path. Yeah, I want the letter to take the shorter path. Okay, cool. Yeah, okay. So okay, we'll do another check. So after this is 13, when 13 is written down, you will get mod 13 is 0, which means it's in column 0, or the shortest possible, which is 154. Oh, you still get 100 here, because when dividing by 0... Wait, why did I divide by 0? I need to divide by 13, what the heck? Is that what dividing by 0 gives you? It gives you a... What does it give you? Wait, hold on, let me just check again. What does it give you? Wait, I'm very curious. I kind of don't remember if I've done this or not. It gives you a 0 when divided by 0. Okay. That's fair. Let's divide by 13. So for the value of 13 itself, it will give a value of 1. And then a value of 1 will clearly become the letter B. Cool. Okay. So I can basically just hook this up to the endpoint already. I'm pretty sure the values we have are exactly what we're looking for. And in fact, that means I can just get rid of you. Because you're gonna be... If I make you active, you just pull out the first thing first. Yeah, and then basically, it's exactly what I wanted. Right? The cycles are off. But it makes a bit of sense that the cycles are off. But it doesn't really matter. But we can like... Because this took so long to... This took an extra cycle. I think this is... How far are we from actually getting this right? Why is 8 so... What the heck happened to this 8? Oh, something went wrong here. This 8 is now at the wrong spot. This 8 is like at the start for some reason. Hold on, that means I need to reread all of this. Yeah, wait, why is 13 first? Oh, what? 13 is supposed to be first. Wait, what am I doing? Yeah, 13 is supposed to be first. We're reading the B. Of course. Which means it is at this point where this bit was to be here. We're 1 off, so this should be a 108, I think. It should lead you to the exact same result. Yeah, the exact same result. Okay. So when 8 is read, the 8 gets pulled down, you get the values you want. Okay, and then when we eventually go to 13, you get the 13s, you get 101 and then 154. Okay, this works. Next up, we need to program a lot of stuff now. We need to program this going into here after a long time, which honestly, if we just waited it out, if we just waited like for all 10 pairs to go in, which we can guess, right? Yeah. We can guess. Like, we can guess. I don't know how long each pair is supposed to take to get in there, but we can guess. What's the challenge look like? Oh, fairly small. 5, 6, 7. Okay, well, crap. So we can say the last check will definitely occur when we are looking for G at the maximum value. It's actually this bit right here, which we know to be basically a multiple of 10 plus the 108. And the multiple of 10 is based on what value this is for the maximum value, which is a 6 times 13, if I checked, plus the maximum here, which is also 13, which is what, 7 times 13? 91, is that really the maximum? Oh, it is. Yeah, wow, that is the maximum. Oh, it's a 90. Why? Wait, what? I'm confused. 166 minus 154. Yeah, 166 minus 154 is 12. So we have a maximum value of 12, which means if we add, right, the maximum value we get is 90. So wow, it's like really early on we already meet the largest value possible. So we're really only checking for this to reach 90, aka 900. Plus 108, you actually get 1008. Which actually requires 2 of these guys. It requires a 999 plus like 109, I think. Or 107? 109? What? 999. Wait. So wait, we're looking for 900 here. Plus 108, that is 1008. Which is just 999 plus 9. And then at that point, I can activate something to throw this away. Let's use an actual long one. Yeah. These guys will come out at the same time, right? Yeah. Okay, so let's do that. Oh my god, I'm going to check this. Okay. Yeah, actually we'll check until the G comes out. And then we'll have a pretty good sense of what we're looking for at this point. I actually counted this pretty well, right? Oh wow, this is actually really, really early on. Okay, we don't need to go that high then. Let's go minus the sum of this, which is... We can just subtract a very large value here. We'll subtract 40, so let's go 959, and then we'll see how far it takes us. Okay, so... the check already occurs here. 90 is the maximum value we'll get. So here's the maximum we'll get, which leaves us with a total of 40, after which you can throw this away. So this can be even lower. This can be all the way down to like a 942, 945, I think. And we can immediately activate afterwards. Because there will still be some waiting time before hitting this. It doesn't really matter. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. If we set a breakpoint, this is G over here. This will get thrown away already. Oh, but the problem... the problem is that I don't want to keep waiting though. Like, the hashtag will definitely do this, but... the blue will also do the same thing. So I want to check for red and then for blue, I think, is what I want. I want to get rid of the blue otherwise, right? Or maybe I want the blue to do the waiting here. The blue could definitely do the waiting here, so I'm gonna get rid of... Wait, what? No. Wait, hold on, what? Let me think about this. Because what do I really want here? I want a red here. I actually do want a red here. I think I do want a red here, but I also want blue, don't I? I don't want everything to keep having to wait here. Is a problem. It's gonna like bump up everything. It's gonna bump up everything. So only red will make it down into this shaft of yeah. Okay. So after this check, we still need another check for red and blue. Blue will take a different route. Red will keep going. So we check for red. If red happens to pass, it will go down. Otherwise, it will be a blue. Yeah, alright, we'll do that. Otherwise, it will be a blue and we'll take this path. Sure. This one doesn't need to be 945 anymore. It's shifted down by 2, so it becomes a 943. Right. Sure. Yeah, this guy's thrown away already. What? Where did it go? Oh. Wait, no, red doesn't have to go here. Red goes down. This starts off like that. There you go. What the heck? Oh, red went in here early. Okay. Maybe this has to wait for a bit more then. Let's go... actually, wait, let me see 943. Let me see exactly when the overtake occurs. It's literally by 1. Wow, it is by 1. Okay. I calculated this almost perfectly just by pure guessing. We need to hold for a bit longer though. Let's go 945. So we're at 2 off. There you go. That seems to fit.